Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Antoni Putri and I'm from English Literature 8 2018. So yeah, today I would like to review my favorite novel. Yeah, it is Pippi Longstocking. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I've divided my presentation into the 5 main parts. The first one is introduction, the second is summary, the third is the interesting thing that is in the novel, and then the fourth is the weakness, and then the last is the moral value. So yeah, it is the cover of the book itself. Pippi Longstocking is a book written by Astrid Lindgren, which is a Swedish children's novel. This book is published by the Penguin Group. And at the first, the title isn't Pippi Longstocking, but Pippi Longstrump, which was published by Radden and Stokebrand in 1945. This book was translated by Tina Nunnally, and the illustrator is Lauren Child. So yeah, the next point is summary. This book generally talk about a girl who live with her horse and her monkey named Mr. Nielsen without her parents. So yeah, Pippi just live alone in her house. So this book has 11 chapters, which the first chapters begin with a story of a 9-year-old named Pippi that only live without her parents in the villa, namely Villa Villaquela. So yeah, her parents was died when she was child. After moving to the villa, Pippi met Annika and Tommy, which was a new character in this chapter. Tommy and Annika live near Pippi's house, but when they look at the Pippi, they feel like a surprise because they never imagine a 9-year-old girl only live without her parents and only live alone in her house. So after that, Pippi invited Tommy and Annika to go to her house and make a pancake together. So yeah, the story ended with Pippi gave gifts to Annika and Tommy. In the chapter 2, Annika and Tommy cannot wait to meet Pippi. When they arrived at Pippi's house, they saw that Pippi was baking a cookies. After that, Pippi invited Annika and Tommy to play a game where they would become a thing searcher. They started looking for something around the house. Finally, Pippi found the first subject. It were a rusty old can and empty spool of thread. Besides that, Pippi found 2 unique items. They were a journal and a necklace. Meanwhile, Annika and Tommy get nothing. And then next, in chapter 3, people around were worried about Pippi, who lived alone in her house. Therefore, people around asked Pippi to stay at the children's house. When the policeman arrived at Pippi's house, they enjoy cookies and drinking a coffee with Annika and Tommy together. When the policeman asked Pippi to move the children's house and attended the school, but Pippi refused it. Pippi asked the policeman to play tag together, but Pippi was too good at this game, so the police found it was difficult to catch Pippi. And in the end, in this chapter, policeman agreed that Pippi would remain at home. So yeah, next chapter is Pippi finally went to school with Annika and Tommy. Annika and Tommy were very happy because they can play with Pippi in the school. However, during the school, Pippi make many mistakes, such as when her teacher asked question, but Pippi only answered with the inappropriate answer. When her teacher told her to sing, but Pippi just took a nap. At the first, her teacher began to be surprised by Pippi's behavior, but Pippi explained that it was difficult for her to adapt a new thing because she always felt and only lived without her parents. Immediately, her teacher advised her to stay in school until she grew up, and then this chapter is closed by Pippi, who told her friend about the schoolyard tales of the school in Argentina. So yeah, in the next chapter, Pippi, Annika, and Tommy at peers from the pear tree near Pippi's fence. While eating it, Pippi told them a story about a Chinese man that she knew in Shanghai. The The man had a ear so large and her friends could come under them. A girl appeared and listened to the story. After that, they drank coffee at the top of the tree. When Pippi descended from the top, she found a hole and tried to enter it. At the time, Annika worried about the Pippi's missing. After that, Annika found Pippi and she was forced into it and decided that it would be their hiding place. Next chapter is chapter 6. In this chapter, Pippi planned to take Annika and Tommy for a picnic. But before that, Pippi was scrubbing at the floor and playing skating. After that, they decided to have picnic in the meadow. When departing, they were blocked by a cow. On the way, they realized that Mr. Nelson, Pippi's monkey, has disappeared. They decided to spread out looking for Mr. Nelson. However, Tommy met the bull and the bull attacked him. When Pippi found Tommy, she pulled the tail of the fort and tariffed them. In the end, Mr. Nelson was found in the tree. On the way to home, Pippi saw and started, which were still from the pond, make squeezing noises, which inspired to Pippi to come up with the own lyric to song that Tommy and Annika began to sing. So yeah, in the next chapter, Pippi was invited by Annika and Tommy to go to the circus. Although Pippi didn't know anything about circus, but she accepted the invitation. So yeah, Pippi paid for the ticket in the gold without receiving any change. In the circus, the first featured 10 white horses followed by the appearance of the woman riding a black horse. While Pippi jumped on the horse, the audience was pleased, but not with the circus keeper. The guards told Pippi to leave, but the audience wanted Pippi to stay. At the last appearance by the strong man, Pippi wanted to fight him. After that, the chapter ended with Pippi returning her chair and taking a nap. So yeah, because of what happened in the circus, people assumed that Pippi was a strong girl. This is invited two thieves who want to steal gold from her house. The two thieves knock and ask if there's anyone, but Pippi answered with, "Yeah, there's Mr. Nelson in there." Yeah, because the thieves think that Mr. Nelson is the keeper, so they'll come back later. When the thieves entered their house and realized that she only lived with a little monkey, they laughed. When the thieves asked for money, Pippi was silent. They were terrified. Pippi tied and the thieves and freed them if they agreed to dance with Pippi. The thief agreed and enjoying the night dancing together. So yeah, next chapter is about Pippi was invited by Annika and Tommy's mother for a coffee party in their house. At first, Pippi was worried because of her bad character, but Annika and Tommy assured that it will be alright, it will be fine. After arriving at his house, Pippi did that she dared. She messed up the party by sprinkling sugar and sneaked into the adult talking room. Until finally Pippi cried because she was cold and decided to go home and say goodbye to Annika and Tommy. Next chapter is chapter 10. In this chapter, Pippi became a savior. When she was brought her house into the middle of the city, she saw that there was a great fire where many people were gathered and there were firefighters. There were two boys on the roof asking for help. Pippi didn't know anything what it meant, but she asked for a rope and asked Mr. Nelson to carry the rope for two boys. Everyone was silent because no one could climb the building except the monkey. When the rope was tied, Pippi brought the boy down and singing a song about fire. Then it ended with the chief firefighter asking people around to appreciate what Pippi had done. She saved other people's life. So yeah, this story closed by chapter 11, that was Pippi's birthday. When Annika and Tommy received an invitation, they immediately rushed to get ready and brought gifts for Pippi's birthday. When they arrived at her house, they were scared by Pippi that became a ghost. After that, they were wished Pippi a happy birthday while giving a gift, a beautiful music box. Not only that, Pippi also gave them a gift. Tommy was given a flute and Annika was given a brooch. After that, they had a dinner and went to the attic to see the ghost. Annika was very scared, but she was even more afraid if she had to stay alone at the house. So yeah, Pippi found a chest which contained a gun. She gave it to Annika and Tommy. As they fired the bolts, Tommy and Annika's father came, who brought their son home and were angry with the Pippi attitude. So yeah, the third point is about what is the interesting in the novel itself. But the interesting about the novel that I like is the cheerful character of Pippi. Even though we know that Pippi live alone without her parents, she still have fun without feeling sad. Apart from that, Pippi is innocent, but its trait really helps others. For the example, like when she saved the two boys, and then Pippi was also a person who always entertaining her friends, and she gave her friends a gift and always cook them something like pancakes and others. Now we are going to the next point is about the weakness of this novel itself. The weakness of this novel is the content that Pippi's narrative and behavior sometimes off the mark. This probably because Pippi only live alone without her parents and didn't know what is right and wrong. Her behavior is just like when her teacher asked her to sing, but she decided to sleep, and then her nature is sneaking and bumping and interrupting what people say. This is a bad thing for a young children or maybe adult when they read this novel, especially this book is especially belong for the children. So yeah, the last point is the moral value. This novel contains a moral message for its reader. You can imagine a 9-year-old girl who live alone without her parent at home, but Pippi never sad and always has fun. Pippi continued to live properly even though she knew that her parents was gone, but she didn't give up for her enthusiasm. The point that we can take is, after all our lives, we must still enjoy it with the feelings of joy and not run into the sadness. I think that's all for my presentation. Thank you for your nice attention and goodbye. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.